In the second part of the 26th episode of the Unnamed Political Podcast, we'll be talking about the future of the election cycle, and we'll be talking about specifically the New Hampshire primaries.
Alright, we're not going to play an intro for this one just because this is going to be a short episode. Now, the New Hampshire primaries are going to be this Tuesday.
Right.
And it is, in some cases, believed that these are going to be much more decisive as to potentially picking nominees in the Republican Party, at least, than the Iowa caucuses were for the Republicans. Jeff, would you care to, let's just start off, who do you think is going to win?
Well, I think in the Republican Party it's pretty sound that Trump's going to win, and I think New Hampshire's a great state to have a primary, because unlike Iowa, it's pretty normal in terms of your people. Not everyone's
You think Iowa has abnormal people?
Well, I'm not going to make fun of Iowans, but I think what I meant is that they don't really represent the nation as well as other primaries do. New Hampshire's a really good example for that.
I think I wouldn't go entirely with that. I mean, New Hampshire, it's a northeastern, predominantly white state.
More people who probably win New Hampshire primary is usually probably who gets the nomination. Did Mitt Romney win New Hampshire? Probably.
I believe he did, but even though
I think it's
still lost Iowa, so I think that we are seeing. I think in this case, it is becoming the more important one. I think it's now looking very likely that Bernie is going to kind of sweep it, kind of just overflow from Vermont, support for there. And in addition to that, though, I do not necessarily think Trump will win this. Do you think? I think it's the most likely outcome is that Trump will win.
Yeah.
But do you think that Cruz's win in Iowa could kind of help push him over onto the top?
I was actually thinking about that, and I think, well, according to the recent polls, Trump's going to win by a decent margin. But I think the Iowa caucus definitely showed that Trump is not 100% electable and can lose caucuses,
which is very good to hear.
Which definitely boosts Cruz's chances of winning New Hampshire. But I still think Trump has a decent hold on that area for now.
So one of the kind of the common themes that I've heard is that this is basically a race for second. So for the most part, with a lot of campaigns, specifically with Bush and Kasich, they are kind of in the situation where unless they win second in New Hampshire, that's it for them. It's over. Yeah. So do you think that we're going to kind of see Bernie basically sweep and Hillary just smile and wave in this one?
I think Bernie Sanders definitely has a huge chance of winning, and I think that's ultimately going to be the outcome. Again, Hillary could again win. I don't think it's likely, because New Hampshire, again, is pretty much Bernie Sanders' territory. Watch how many times they say again. But yeah, I think Bernie Sanders definitely has a decent hold on this, on New Hampshire.
Who do you think is going to take second in the Republican Party?
Probably Kasich or Bush, to be honest, not Cruz.
You don't think Cruz? You think he's going to pull? So I think that one, if Trump loses again, this could cripple his campaign. But in terms of second place, I am, at the moment, Kasich is slightly ahead of Bush. And I think that he is becoming the more likely person there. But I think Rubio is also a person we haven't mentioned very much, who he has kind of been riding this new wave of confidence that we're seeing, which can help him. I would like to see either Kasich or Bush win, but I would say Rubio. Would you agree with that?
I think from what I know is that New Hampshire is a pretty liberal state.
Oh.
Pretty liberal. So that's why someone like Cruz wouldn't really appeal to that place. There's not as many, evangelical Christians, born-again Christians that agree with Cruz's philosophy. So a moderate like Kasich or Bush would definitely do well there. Marco Rubio, he could do well because he had some pretty good success in the Iowa caucus. So it's possible that I think he could be a close second.
I think that's a very likely outcome. And overall, I guess, with New Hampshire, though, we will say this. If we are correct in our guesses, we are geniuses with foresight. If not, we're just teenagers in someone's basement. So overall,
literally.
Yeah, we literally are. As we've said before, all opinions are prepared to change at any time. So if we said we like Rubio now and he loses, we might be liking Trump next week. Speaking of him, remember, brought to you by The Art of the Deal.
This book that's 20 years old.
Yeah, yep. I prefer Crippled America, to be honest. Never read it. Okay, we'll wrap this up. And now moving on to, I believe, the final segment of the... Final segment?
Final segment, yeah.
Final segment of the 26th episode of the Unnamed Political Podcast of the 26th episode, Random Stuff with Chairman Mao.